Welcome to the Today's Soapbox podcast. This episode accompanies the article Another Year, Another Taylor Swift Album, reviewing album rollout and reception of The Life of a Showgirl, originally published October 13th, 2025. I will be reading the article as written in the web version with minor adjustments for the audio format. This podcast is sponsored by the Today's Soapbox website, which you can access at todays-soapbox.com. If you want to support the work I am doing there to promote independent journalism, you can find details on the website on how to support with your engagement and money if you are willing. My name is S, and I am the main writer for today's Soapbox.
My name is R, and I am her sister and was a guest editor for this article.
Despite the many issues going on in the United States and the rest of the world, the eyes and ears of many people were tuned to Taylor Swift on the weekend of October 3rd, 2025. Her latest album was promoted with the aesthetics of a vintage 1920s showgirl, complete with feather headdresses and beaded accessories. With glittery orange marketing to herald a new incoming era, fans anxiously awaited a new album that would detail her life during the wildly successful, multi-billion-dollar The Eras Tour and recent engagement to football player Travis Kelce.
When fans listened to the album for the first time, they found it to be pretty different from the marketing. With the exception of the title track, the album contained few references to showgirls and themes of fame and glamour. It instead focused on the intimate aspects of Swift and Kelce's relationship. On an episode of New Heights, Kelce's podcast with his brother, former football player Jason Kelce, Swift explains that the collaborator Max Martin, who has previously worked with Swift on her albums Red, 1989, and Reputation, loved the lyricism of her album Folklore and wanted to maintain that lyrical quality while creating infectious anthems. The expectation set by the album was high. Fans expected Showgirl to deliver catchy, original songs with a show tune's quality, complete with brass sections and full vocals. She announced the track list for the album in the same podcast episode, teasing more emotional songs for her fans to enjoy. Fans were excited for tracks like Eldest Daughter that they thought that could relate to their experiences the same way many of her previous albums had. Albums like Folklore accomplished a sense of relatability through compelling and complex storytelling in songs like My Tears Ricochet and Seven. Invoking folklore in the marketing for Showgirl set a high expectation for how fans may experience the songs.
Album reception by critics and fans. The day of the album's release, music critics across a variety of outlets released their reviews of the album. John Caramanica reviewed the album for the New York Times, writing, "Showgirl has hints of what a Swift album about requited love might sound like, but for now, she's not quite over the taste of blood." End quote. Maya Georgie reviewed the album for Rolling Stone, giving the album 5 stars and declaring, quote, "On her 12th studio album, Swift hits all her marks, from new, exciting sonic turns to incisive storytelling." End quote. Other reviews were less positive in nature. Anna Gaka reviewed the album for Pitchfork and gave it 5.9 out of 10. The headline for Gaka's review is, "A dozen albums in, Taylor Swift's never been bigger, and her music's never been less compelling." Gaka disagrees with Georgie, saying, "But it is simply untrue to claim, as Rolling Stone did on Friday, that Showgirl represents new, exciting sonic turns." Gaka's review highlights the claims that the album is unoriginal and directly calls out the tracks that sound similar to other artists' songs. No punches are pulled when critiquing the album, its lyrics, and production. The public, Swifties and non-Swifties alike, was quick to react as well. Longtime Swiftie Bianca Divino wrote for Refinery29, "Swift has laid out the expectation that all of her eras are to be treated with the utmost significance and that each era would give a glimpse into her ever-developing taste and skill as a songwriter and sonic curator. Unfortunately, it seems like the fans have decided that The Life of a Showgirl does not compete in this exact frontier she created." Non-Swifties took to social media platforms like TikTok to react to the album. Clips of live-streamed reactions gained traction as listeners noted particularly cringe lyrics. With the album only containing 12 songs after her previous album, The Tortured Poets Department, included more than 30, it was easier to find these cringe moments as there was less material to sort through. After listening to the album, many fans went to movie theaters to watch the limited release of The Official Release Party of a Showgirl, the accompanying film to the album. Expectations for the film, like the album, were also set high after the concert film released to commemorate the Eras Tour. In a review of the film for the New York Times, Esther Zuckerman writes, quote, "Unlike the concert film Taylor Swift The Eras Tour from 2023, the official release party of a Showgirl feels more like the bonus features on a DVD." End quote. The film contained lyric videos for each song, a breakdown of each song by Swift herself, and a music video for The Fate of Ophelia, along with behind-the-scenes footage of the video shoot. Another reviewer who attended the premiere critiqued the lyric videos while praising the experience of seeing the film overall. Quote, Swift, in costume, is the only figure in them, though she's often multiplied. There's a samey-sameness to the presentation that starts to make the effect into that of a single extended video. End quote. The album and film combined to create a spectacle that dominated online discourse for the weekend as many fans were left with unmet expectations.
Controversies. Interpolation. Fans and haters alike noticed some striking similarities between songs on this album and other songs by popular artists. One of the most popular comparisons was between Swift's titular track with Sabrina Carpenter, The Life of a Showgirl, and Cool by the Jonas Brothers. One of the interpolations was sanctioned by the estate of the artist. The estate of George Michael announced that Swift's father figure would interpolate Michael's song of the same title. The entire album was written and produced by Max Martin, Shellback, and Swift. George Michael is the only additional songwriter credited, even though fans felt that many of the songs on Showgirl copied other artists. This rubbed some fans the wrong way due to the alleged feud between Swift and fellow singer-songwriter Olivia Rodrigo over songwriting credits. Before the release of Rodrigo's debut album, Sour, Swift and frequent collaborator Jack Antonoff were given credit on Rodrigo's song One Step Forward, Three Steps Back, due to its interpolation of Swift's 2017 song New Year's Day off her album Reputation. Rodrigo stated in an interview that the bridge of her song Deja Vu was inspired by the yelly vocals of the bridge of Cruel Summer, another of Swift's songs. She ended up retroactively crediting the songwriters of the song Swift, Antonoff, and St. Vincent after criticism. In an interview with Teen Vogue, Rodrigo stated, quote, Writing songs about how I feel has always been easy and fun for me, and I think that the business side of music has been something I've had a harder time learning. All of this has led to the unproved rumor that Swift sued Rodrigo to get songwriting credits. There have been further rumors that other Rodrigo songs like The Grudge and Vampire were about Swift. Swift has also been rumored to have written about Rodrigo through songs like Clarabow and Father Figure. Fans felt that it was hypocritical to seek songwriting credits on other songs while also seemingly interpolating other artists' music without crediting them. Time will tell if Swift ends up crediting other artists, but for now, her album is drawing criticism for that reason. Charli XCX. One of the most direct confrontations on the album is the song Actually Romantic. Charli XCX released her hit hyperpop album, Brat, in June 2024. The album took over popular culture with its enragingly simple album cover and its maximalist aesthetic. The songs were catchy and had something to say underneath the club beats and infectious hooks. One song, Sympathy is a Knife, stood out to fans as a dig to Taylor Swift. Charli and Swift have a history that dates back several years as fellow female artists in the music industry. Charli appeared as a special guest on the 1989 tour Toronto stop in 2015 to perform her song Boom Clap, and opened for Swift on her stadium tour for the album Reputation in 2018. Charli's Sympathy is a Knife details the insecurity she feels when comparing herself to Swift and her success. She sings, Don't want to see her backstage at my boyfriend's show. Fingers crossed behind my back, I hope they break up quick, 'cause I couldn't be her if I tried. I'm opposite, I'm on the other side. I feel all these feelings I can't control. Oh no, don't know why, all the sympathy is just a knife. Why I can't even grit my teeth and lie. I feel all these feelings I can't control. Oh no. Swift initially praised Brat and supported the success of the album, but the release of Actually Romantic seems to suggest hurt feelings over Charli's song. The title seems to be based on Everything is Romantic from Brat, and discusses how Swift is taking the criticism as an expression of love. Actually Romantic begins with the lyrics, I heard you call me boring Barbie when the coke's got you brave. High-fived my ex, and then you said you're glad he ghosted me. Wrote me a song saying it makes you sick to see my face. These lyrics directly reference Charli's expressed distaste for the relationship between Swift and Maddie Healy and her usage of cocaine. The chorus goes on to say, but it's actually sweet, all the time you've spent on me. It's honestly wild, all the effort you've put in. It's actually romantic. I really gotta hand it to you. No man has ever loved me like you do. Swift implies that Charli is obsessed with her and suggests a romantic reason for it. The bridge says, It sounded nasty, but it feels like you're flirting with me, furthering this idea that Charlie's attention is comparable to that of a romantic partner. Swift is known for responding when people personally criticize her or an ex mistreats her. Her response to Charli XCX, however, stands out as Charlie was not overtly critical of her. The focus of Sympathy is a Knife is comparison and insecurity due to her proximity to Swift as they dated members of the 1975 at the same time. The release of Showgirl prompted Charli XCX fans to stream Sympathy is a Knife and revisit it. Streams were up for the song on the day of Showgirl's release.
Travwife. Now that Swift is engaged to Kelsey, it was expected that the engagement and preceding romance would be a theme of the album. However, with the theme of a vintage showgirl, fans expected a heavier emphasis on the story behind her craft and career. Some of the songs contain lyrics that align more with tradwife ideology, which outlines that the ultimate goal for a woman is marriage and producing a nuclear, suburban family with unconditional subservience to an attractive, successful husband. This trend is a misinterpretation of how 19th century women lived and their quality of life under this system. Marissa Rhodes writes for Time, quote, "Only a privileged minority of wealthy white women could afford to withdraw from the workforce starting in the late 18th century. Even then, however, contrary to the tradwife narrative, they did not live private lives of domestic bliss." End quote. Being a stay-at-home mother or wife is not the same thing as being a tradwife. The tradwife movement is a reaction to feminism that has gained traction as conservatism in the U.S. becomes more popular. Tradwives are also often content creators or homesteaders who earn an income through social media and other products such as training courses, exclusive paid content, and merchandise. The Fate of Ophelia is based on the story of Ophelia from William Shakespeare's classic tragedy Hamlet. Ophelia is thought to represent the idea of an innocent woman who went mad and drowned seemingly intentionally after the death of her father, Polonius, and mistreatment by her lover, Hamlet. Swift has referenced Shakespeare in her work before. In Love Story, she references Romeo and Juliet. The Fate of Ophelia contains the lyrics, "And if you'd never come for me, I might have drowned in the melancholy. I swore my loyalty to me, myself, and I, right before you lit my sky up. All that time I sat alone in my tower, you were just honing your powers, now I can see it all. Late one night, you dug me out of my grave and saved my heart from the fate of Ophelia." End quote. Not only does Swift make a reference to Ophelia's drowning death, she credits her lover Kelsey with saving her from the heartbreak Ophelia experienced, leading to madness. She sheds her loyalty to herself in favor of this romance. The song takes on a damsel in distress tone that fans quickly picked up. TikTok user at @LoveRapunzel, spelled LUVRQPUNZEL, released an edit to the song within hours of the album's release from the perspective of Rapunzel from Disney's Tangled. The edit seemed to suggest that Rapunzel's romantic partner, Flynn Rider, or Eugene Fitzherbert for anyone who finished the film, was responsible for saving her. Other users left comments like, quote, "The fact that this fits so well is astounding," end quote, and, quote, "I instantly thought of Rapunzel when I first listened," end quote. The reverse perspective was quick to emerge when TikTok user at MariaXLegolas released an edit to the same song with clips from the same film, this time crediting Rapunzel with saving Flynn. She quite literally saves his life after honing her powers. This time, a commenter wrote, in all caps, quote, "I thought it would be Rapunzel, but this is better," end quote. These contrasting edits show that while the song can be interpreted many ways, it has a connotation of saving someone from loneliness and despair. This waters down the tragedy of Ophelia to ultimately going mad because a romantic relationship didn't work out. Another song that drew criticism for its lyrics was Wishlist. The S's are dollar signs. The song discusses Swift's desires for her future with Kelsey. Swift, a billionaire, claims to want to settle into suburban life and start a family with Kelsey. This desire reeks of privilege in a time of economic turmoil where many of her fans cannot buy homes for themselves. Putting this emphasis on the American dream and idealizing material things that are 100% within her reach shows how distant she is from the experiences of her fans. Swift sings, "You caught me off my guard. I hope I get what I want. 'Cause I know what I want. I just want you, huh? Have a couple kids, got the whole block looking like you. We tell the world to leave us the bleep alone, and they do. Wow. Got me dreaming about a driveway with a basketball hoop. Boss up, settle down, got a wish list, I just want you. End quote. The standout desire expressed in this song is Swift's desire for privacy. Recently, her album release cycle has been at least one release a year. The constant media attention and scrutiny means that she and Kelsey are not able to exist in public without being surrounded by paparazzi and fans. In the lyrics of the songs on Showgirl, Swift seems to stray from the idea of women's empowerment that fans interpreted from previous albums. In her older song, The Man, Swift criticizes calling women the B word and the misogyny behind that. This idea is completely abandoned on this album. Her song Honey contains the lyric, and the B word was telling me to back off because her man had looked at me wrong. The Life of a Showgirl contains the lyric, and all the headshots on the walls of the dance hall are of the B words who wish I'd hurry up and die. These lyrics show that Swift is not aligned with causes in the same way she seemed to be in the past, and now is comfortable putting down other women for the sake of her reputation and feelings.
One of the most questionable tracks on the album in the political context of the US in 2025 is Cancelled. The chorus says, "Good things I liked my friends canceled. I like 'em cloaked in Gucci and in scandal. Like my whiskey sour and poison thorny flowers. Welcome to my underworld where it gets quite dark. At least you know exactly who your friends are. They're the ones with matching scars." These lyrics bring to mind some of Swift's friends who have drawn public scrutiny and been cancelled. One figure that stands out is Brittany Mahomes, wife of Kelsey's teammate Patrick Mahomes. The Mahomes family has a record of publicly supporting President Trump. From Randy Mahomes, Patrick's mother, wearing a MAGA hat to a Chiefs game, to Brittany liking one of Trump's posts on Instagram, fans have noticed an association. Trump is also a big fan of the Mahomeses. In an interview with Fox News, he said, "I just say that I've watched this great quarterback who has, by the way, a phenomenal wife, okay? She's a Trump fan, she's a MAGA fan, so I happen to love her, okay?" The line, "I like 'em cloaked in Gucci and in scandal," also draws attention to the economic status of these cancelled friends. Swift wants her friend group to be in expensive designer clothes and embroiled in scandal. Many fans wondered what kind of scandal she was referring to. Her association with Travis Kelce has led to the themes of this album being interpreted differently by fans than the ideas she's expressed on other albums.
AI usage. Some of the Google scavenger hunt videos used to promote The Life of a Showgirl appear to have been made with generative AI. Showgirl is symbolized by the color orange, so the scavenger hunt encouraged people to find orange doors hidden in 12 major cities across the world. The doors included a QR code that led fans to a lyric video for a track from the album. The problem with using generative AI to create promotional content is that it takes the job from a real, working human artist. Additionally, it is trained using the work of artists who did not consent to their work being used in this way and has catastrophic environmental effects. It is important to note that this campaign was not directly promoted by Swift herself. Swift's team has not yet responded to the allegations of generative AI usage.
Merchandise overconsumption. Many artists release album variants and special releases over the course of their career, but none as many as Taylor Swift. The rollout of The Life of a Showgirl is no exception. This list details releases documented by @TaylorNation on Instagram between the August 13th, 2025 album announcement and October 11th, 2025.
Album announced August 13th, 2025 for release on October 3rd, 2025. Limited release deluxe CDs were available for 72 hours and announced August 13th, 2025. The Shiny Bug collection was announced August 18th, 2025 with 2 marbled vinyl variants in Violet Shimmer and Wintergreen and Onyx, available for 48 hours. The Baby That's Show Business collection was announced August 21st, 2025 with 2 vinyl variants in the Lakeside Beach Blue Sparkle and Lovely Bouquet Golden, available for 48 hours. The Tiny Bubbles in Champagne collection was announced August 25th, 2025 with 2 vinyl variants in Under Bright Lights Pearlescent and Red Lipstick and Lace Transparent, available for 48 hours. The Look Behind the Curtain announced on September 10th, 2025 to be released alongside the album to iTunes users who pre-ordered. The Life of a Showgirl cardigan box set was announced September 17th, 2025 and was available for 48 hours. The release party of Showgirl was announced September 19th, 2025 to be the only beers from October 3rd through 5th. It was announced to include a music video for The Fatal Fia and iTunes alongside beer videos and stories behind each song. The Crowd is Your Pain edition on Summertime's Break Pink Sugar Vinyl was announced September 24th, 2025 with exclusive Target game with a giant poster. The Life of a Showgirl Spotlight Experience was announced September 5th, 2025 to take place in New York City from September 30th to 12%. 4 special edition CDs of Unique and Signed photos announced September 6th, 2025 and available for 48 hours. The Life of a Showgirl Weekly announced October 2nd, 2025. 4 limited video releases were announced October 4th, 2025 to 2 additional music stars. Gavin Harris version, Resident Evil all 4 CDs, Elemental Hour version, Just Miracle version, and Slow Colors version. The Life of a Showgirl Deluxe Elemental Hour version was announced October 6th, 2025 to be available for 24 hours and include 2 versions. No pre-release on Hour version. Interactive Open Open Sorry Amazon. The Life of a Showgirl Private Version was announced October 2025 and available on YouTube. The Life of a Showgirl Deluxe Live Song Features was announced October 8th, 2025 to be available for 24 hours and include 2 songs on the album and 2 songs. The Life of a Showgirl Deluxe Live Song Features was announced October 8th, 2025 to be available for 24 hours and include 2 songs on the album and 2 songs. The Life of a Showgirl Deluxe Live Song Features was announced October 8th, 2025 to be available for 24 hours and include 2 songs on the album and 2 songs. The Life of a Showgirl Deluxe Live Song Features was announced October 8th, 2025 to be available for 24 hours and include 2 songs on the album and 2 songs. The Life of a Showgirl Deluxe Live Song Features was announced October 8th, 2025 to be available for 24 hours and include 2 songs on the album and 2 songs. The Life of a Showgirl Deluxe Live Song Features was announced October 8th, 2025 to be available for 24 hours and include 2 songs on the album and 2 And
If this volume of releases seems overwhelming, the complete album rollout for the Tortured Poets department puts Showgirl to shame. Over the course of that rollout, Swift released 36 variants of the album. Very few variants included all the songs at once. It was speculated by some internet users that this volume of variants was released over several weeks to inflate her album sales in order to block other albums from hitting #1 on the charts. Many of the albums it was competing with were by other female artists, drawing criticism for the idea that she may be directly sabotaging other artists' success. This makes her implication that Charli XCX is obsessed with her ironic, as she released UK exclusive versions of the Tortured Poets department that kept Charli out of the #1 spot.
Final thoughts. This album has some catchy beats, but it's hard to give Swift credit for them when they sound so similar to other songs by other artists. With the concise nature of the album, it is easier to find lyrics that seem off-color or problematic. The marketing of the album set very different expectations than the album actually delivered, which contributed to fans' disappointment. The sheer volume of variants and merchandise released for this album is not environmentally sustainable and also prevents fans from enjoying the full album without spending extra money. In the future, I would like to see more time between albums so that fans can fully digest one and take a break from spending money during the promotional process before purchasing another album. Her engagement with Kelsey provides a new opportunity for Swift to write about marriage and the finality of this love. I would also like to see less diss tracks and focus on people in her orbit and more songs that can be broadly relatable to people who are not billionaires or who toured while dating a famous athlete. This may be impossible for her as she has more money than most people could ever dream of. I would also love to see her expansive platform and influence be used to help others and draw attention to important issues instead of scandal and distaste for others and Kelsey's manhood.
I don't think this is the end for Swift, but hopefully it will be a teaching moment about what the fans want and expect and healthy ways to meet those expectations. Thank you, S, for having me on this week.
Thank you for listening, and I hope to see you in the next episode.